Firstly, I want to show you some questions from the classroom you might be familiar with. A student asks his teacher, I have finished the first question, miss, but I'm not sure about the answer. Can you check it for me? Don't you want me to analyze the date? Tell me what I have to memorize for the coming test. Why did I get A? Please put yourself in a teacher's position. If a student frequently asks questions like this, what kind of learner do you think he or she would be? And what kind of learning style do you think he or she would have? Can I get some hands?
They're very competitive, and they're looking to hit marks and get over and reach defined stages. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. And
they're very dependent on teacher influence. They want the teacher to guide their learning. They're not very independent.
yeah, I agree with you. There is a huge possibility that students frequently asking questions like this are often extremely dependent on their teachers and constant instructions. Is it a good learning style, do you think?
It's appropriate for some things.
Yeah, I think most of us will agree. Independent learners will be more likely to succeed than these students who heavily dependent on their teachers. And when a teacher comes across the situation like this, what we need to do is to changing the learning environment for such students to help them work and think more for themselves and then become more independent and more reliant. And this is the topic we will discuss today. How can teachers promote independent learning in the classroom? It's not a difficult question to answer because the post has already guided us by its principle with its two important associated components. And let's look at the component 2.1. It's about how teachers structure their teaching and provide supports and scaffolding to students, let them take more responsibility for their own learning. And this could be done by changing teachers' roles in the classroom from an authority to a guider. And teachers also should offer plenty of opportunities for students to actively take part in the learning process, and at the same time have more choices and freedom to learn independently. And there are many ways teachers can take to encourage and support students to become independent learner, and I will show you two of them. The first one is to provide students opportunities to make individual or collaborative decisions about how they will conduct their learning tasks. And that requires, as a teacher, when you plan your lesson, make sure in your class you will teach the student, you will never teach the student in the way like you demand them to do something, but make sure you will teach them in a way like you help them to make a decision about what to do and how to do. And what you need to do is to help them think, plan, and undertake their learning tasks according to their needs, and let them do the task in the way they favor most. Just give them more choices to fit their requirements. For example, let's discuss this. We can change the way how students conduct their homework. You know, in the traditional ways, teachers just give students the homework all the same to all students, and then in another day just pick up from students. We can change them. We can offer them more opportunities or freedom to do that. Do you have some ideas how we can change the way?
could ask them to, in the next class after you've given the homework out, present their ideas in the classroom, so, or their answers, discuss them within the class.
Good idea.
You could give them a choice of homework tasks.
Yeah, agree with you. Like, you can ask students to choose activity A or activity B as homework, or you can pick a partner to work with, or you can answer 3 out of 5 questions as homework, or you can choose one of two topics to write down your essay, something like this. And the second one is you can encourage students to set goals for their learning and to do self-monitor, to self-monitor their progress. And once students understand what their goals are, and they will get it easy to conduct their learning task, and this would help them become more engaging in their responsibility. I would like to show you one example done by a student who is planning to expand his vocabulary list and improve his language skills. And from as far as you can see from this table, you can see how the student set up the goals for themselves and in what way they will do this. And he also do self-reflection to monitor what is his progress after a period of study.
What would be the benefit of that in a highly prescribed subject like physics or mathematics?
Pardon?
What would be the benefit of that approach in a highly prescribed subject like physics or mathematics?
I think in a highly level, students have more independence to undertake their tasks, and they could also learn the skills and how to organize his study in effective way. I think it's.
If you've got a student that wants to do the bare minimum to pass, how do you encourage them to use this?
Yeah, actually, this is a task a teacher should be very careful, because not all students got the opportunity or past experience to do this to set the learning goals for themselves. So I think at the beginning, when they do first learning, when they set their first learning goals, I think they need a lot of help from their teachers. So and I also think when it has been done, teachers should regularly visit it and reassess students' goals to make sure its efficiency. So you should be careful about this. And component 2.2 talks about strategies teachers can use to build independent skills in the classroom, especially the collaboration and cooperation skills. I think most of you are very familiar with this kind of strategies because it's very popular today in the classroom. Any ideas? How we can improve students' cooperating skills?
So we're out of time. Do you want to take a few seconds just to finish it off?
Okay. Like we can do encourage they to group work and teach students how to work in a team. And students' contribution, you encourage to value other students' contribution. And it depends on what subject you teach and depends on the case. Okay, to conclusion, today we look at 2 important components offered by POEs. And I hope all information I discussed with you today will be helpful and will be helpful in your future teaching. Thank you.
Well done.